Good evening, everyone. This is Taxonomy Tuesday from New Jersey Mycological Association. My name is Sue. I'm your host this evening. This is where our members share the recent fungal finds or lichen finds. And hopefully we'll have something from some people who have gotten rain, who had time to go out last weekend. Would anybody like to start? We don't have much in the way of emails tonight. Jason, would you have any lichens to share?
Maybe later. I'm still driving home, so I can't
Ah,
share at the
okay.
moment.
Thank you. And Dave doesn't like to go before 8. Chris, do you have anything?
I'm I'm actually getting set up, about to do some microscopy and add to my thing. I'll be good in
Yeah.
like 15 minutes.
Okay. Um, Anybody else has gotten any finds in their neighborhood that they'd like to discuss, even if they don't have pictures yet? Well, while we wait for everybody to sort of get in the mood and have their stuff ready, I was thinking maybe we could look at some of the things that are on Naturalist, because I saw some things I hadn't seen before. If I go into and explore, let me see. I share my screen in just a second here. Oh, share. It's slow to load. Grid. This one. And, all right, everyone is anybody here a real novice? Does everybody know what the vomiting mushroom is? The
I am
chlorophyllum.
I would say I'm a real novice. So
Okay. All right, so this first one is very common in lawns. It's claimed it was just already observed. It's out this year. Of course, they only gave us one picture, so that's not much of a proof. But this used to be a lepiata. But under here, when they mature, they have green gills because their spores are green. So if you take a spore print, you'll see green spores if they're mature specimen. And this is one that people has the most poisoning reports for, but this is just a vomiting kind of experience. It's nothing deadly. But that's one everyone should know. The chlorophyllum molybdites.
What
Um,
what's the location for that observation?
yeah, that one. Let's see, where is that? College Station? Not quite sure where that is. See if I can go out.
Yeah,
So
it's a
I,
quick show. It'll give a little. Oh, okay, you can do that.
yeah, I just don't know the relationship to where they are. It doesn't even look like it was New Jersey, but I'm looking
College Station's
No,
Galveston.
Texas. That's
How do we
Texas.
get to Texas? Didn't that do the? Let's see if it's okay. Well, forget that. They haven't found it yet in New Jersey. It didn't take my New Jersey selection. It didn't take my type. Right now, we're definitely in New Jersey.
Sue, do you want to just like show some other observations of chlorophyllum, just so that new person could see
Yes.
could see it?
Okay.
Because
Let
it
me-
is one of the most commonly it causes more poisonings than I think almost any other mushroom because it grows in lawns and people mistaken it for other things because it looks like some edible agaricus and that grow in lawns and this is that same one.
Do they have a nice button that I can press to show the additional ones? I know somewhere in here they do, don't they?
Um, let's see. I feel like at the top, if you just change.
Yeah, I didn't want to do another search. I thought I could just do like a mushroom observer. I can just say find all the other ones like this, similar ones.
Well, I think the map only has observations of chlorophyllum. Oh, there you go.
Okay, this one, when you click on the thing, it'll give you what they say. All right, so this one doesn't have
Oh,
the green
yeah.
spores. That doesn't really show you anything.
Oh, it
If you,
does.
well,
Yeah.
it's not really green the way I would imagine it. Okay, and
Well,
some of these,
the gills aren't really green, but the spores, the spore print will look green.
well, I've seen them truly green on the gills, no problem.
The spores.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I actually will see the green gills when it's mature. I mean, it'll
Okay.
look
Yeah,
green.
the spores turn the gills green.
Right.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
one looks pretty green. This one.
Oh, yeah. There you go. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And let's see what else. We have a ring as a ring. Um, and it's got the little spots on top. Any other characteristics? I only just look for the green spores. Um,
Scales on top of the cap, usually.
this is interesting. This one's got comes down a little bit. I guess where the gill cover still stayed
This
on it for a while.
this species usually grows on lawns, except for the green spore print. It is very similar to several other species of genus Chlorophyllum that are considered to be edible for most people. Chlorophyllum rhacodes, Chlorophyllum, I think there's one called Brunium. There's one or two other species. Those all have white spore prints. And but even the Chlorophyllum species that are edible, for most people, some people apparently have trouble with even the white spored ones, and probably only the caps should be eaten. But it should also be mentioned that there are some mushrooms that look like very small Chlorophyllum mushrooms that are in the genus Lepiota, that are deadly poisonous.
Right.
Uncommon, but there there are such things.
Do they have any? They don't have much on naturals on anything that else is in that genus. They just have two species, the globosum, which
They
I'm not
don't
even
have
familiar with.
Chlorophyllum rhacodes.
No, and that must be you sure it's not in a different genus?
Well, it used to be.
Oh, Macrolepiota.
Yeah, that might be.
Oh, maybe they put it in Macrolepiota. I didn't know about that.
Sarah, yes, Rockato.
Oh, here it is.
There it is. Yeah,
And
There
it
we
is
go.
the shaggy parasol. Yeah.
yeah.
So they're saying it could be either genus. It looks like. Yeah, looks an awful lot like Chlorophyllum molybdites, except that it's a little scalier.
Is this one more likely to grow in the woods as opposed to in someone's lawn, though?
Yeah, woods bound needle duff. These really like needle duff, like spruce needle duff, pine
I
needle
don't see
duff.
any spruce here.
Well, they really like needle duff. That's all I can tell you.
I think the Brunio even more so.
Maybe Brunium is the one that likes needle duff more so than Rhacodes. Yeah, wood borders, woods, sometimes on lawns, but usually not.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see Brunium looks an awful lot like Rhacodes. Maybe this one looks a little bit more like molybdites, I guess. Than
Brunium has a wider, flatter bulb that's that's marginate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Brunium has bulbs. Mm-hmm.
It's rare in the East Coast, but one collection I found in New Jersey actually came from the Pine Barrens. But an unusual place where I found mushrooms that are not typical for the Pine Barrens. Anyway, it was growing under a plantings of old junipers. So it likes, it's not mycorrhizal, but it prefers apparently more maybe acidic soil due to the conifers.
Does this one have white spores? Because they have, unlike the green, but this looks like a white
White-
spore print.
White spores.
White spores.
Yeah.
Brunium and Rhacodes have white spores.
Okay. Okay, so that was a sidetrack, one that's a common one that we don't want people eating. This one is out. We did a class for Princeton Adult School, and Jim Barge was able to find a couple mushrooms, and one of those was the Megacollybia rodmanii. And this one, of course, is it grows on wood or buried wood. It has attached gills instead of free gills. And that's how you tell it against compared to Pluteus. And Pluteus will have free gills, but otherwise it has the tannish cap. This I guess it gets this white spots when it starts to crack.
Sometimes it does, and sometimes it doesn't. A lot of times it just stays smooth on the
Nice.
cap, but sometimes it's streaked. See how it's kind of streaked radially? A lot of
Yeah.
times you'll see that. Sometimes the gills are ambiguously attached in this species, meaning some of them will be attached, some of them will be adnexed, and sometimes the gills are what's called seceding, meaning they break away from the stalk. And then it could be mistaken for having free gills. But Pluteus have salmon pink spore prints, and this species has white spore print. This species is not toxic, but it's difficult to digest, and some people get sick on it.
And these gills are all raggedy, but that's not typical. That's just old, as far as I know. Correct.
Yeah, the gills are more sort of disheveled, let's say, than Pluteus. Pluteus usually has very nice, even gills.
I don't need more of these. More pictures of that. This one, I guess, is how I do it. Better pictures. All right, yeah, this is more like how I think of the gills. Nothing too ragged.
Okay, yeah, that one seems to have nice gills.
Yes. And of course, they all have the white stipe, or whitish, shall I say. Okay, and this one, can I get any closer? Yeah, you can see that this one is attached nicely to the stipe. Okay, so that's another common one that is definitely out there now. The honey mushrooms, are they really out there now? And that's a fall mushroom, is it not?
Sometimes they come out in spring,
Okay.
but it's mostly fall. Armillaria and Desarmillaria are mostly fall mushrooms, but sometimes they come out in spring. More
Yes,
often,
and
Desarmillaria will come out in
yeah, these are parasites on the tree. What else? And they are edible, but the ones that have a procedure where you have to boil and throw away the water and boil and throw away the water. This one is out, the Coprinellus. This you'll see in clusters at the bottom of a tree. They turn to ink very quickly, the deliquesce. This one doesn't have very nice pictures of it again. Why it's called
Micaceus should not deliquesce.
It looked like they are.
Well, Coprinellus does not deliquesce. Coprinopsis does.
I don't know. Maybe I've always mistaken them. They have the mica cap. Very dark.
Isn't that so, Dave?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, Coprinellus does deliquesce in damp, rainy weather. But if it's warm and dry, they'll just dry out in situ. So they don't always deliquesce, but sometimes they do. Coprinopsis, as Igor mentioned a minute ago, those always deliquesce.
Yeah, that and Coprinellus comatus, which is the only species in the genus, right?
There's a couple other species, but they don't grow around here.
Oh, yeah, well, not
Yeah, there's like
domestically.
one that grows in deserts. There's only a few species worldwide, I believe.
It's a small
See,
genus.
there's some that are deliquescing.
Yeah, turning
Sometimes
to
they
ink.
do, and sometimes they don't. And this is a species complex. The micaceus are a species complex. There are some ideas out there on how to tell like Coprinellus micaceus from Coprinellus truncorum, but I'm not sure that those are reliable ways. The traits that are usually pointed out are whether or not there are fibers on the stipe, which if you look at the stipe under a microscope, 400 times magnification, let's say, you will find what's called collocystidia, which are cells that project from the stipe. One of the two species has them, and the other one doesn't. And the spores are a little bit different in micaceus as opposed to truncorum. Those are the ideas that are out there. I'm not sure how reliable those traits are. You might need to have these things sequenced to really know what they are. But just call them micaceps.
Yes.
Yeah, they all fall into that general categories. Technically, Coprinellus section Micaceae.
Yeah, I like the little dots of the mica thing.
Yeah, and
Grains of
sometimes the
sand on the
rain
caps.
washes those off. So the namesake of Coprinellus micaceus is sometimes not present when you find the mushroom. Sometimes the caps will be rather bare, and there's a few species that are a little bit different that look like these a fair amount. I think there's Coprinellus flocosus, I think is one. It has more prominent scales on the cap. The scales might erode. Then there's a few other species of Coprinellus as well that are not all that different than these.
Which is a good picture. This one I was not familiar with. This putaminum, this mulch field cap.
Yeah, it's an
Agrocybe.
Agrocybe species that occurs in spring and has no partial veil. So mushrooms in the Agrocybe praecox complex have partial veil, and the partial veil sometimes it might drop off, but these guys have no partial veil at all. And a possible synonym is Agrocybe sororia. I think it's sororia. That's another large, robust Agrocybe that has no partial veil. They grow on wood chips and mulch and things like that.
They have attached gills.
Like most Agrocybe mushrooms, the gills are attached, but they might be adnexed. They might have decurrent tooth. A lot of times they have decurrent tooth. See, these guys have decurrent tooth right here. See, they're actually adnexed, like there's a notch, right? And then they're attached. The attachment is thinner, more narrow than the width of the gill, but then there's a decurrent tooth, meaning that along down the stipe, the attachment kind of is elongated in that little decurrent tooth on each gill.
For the novice, they have a lot of short gills consistently along the margin.
That I don't know. This one looks like it has 3 or 4 tiers. That's a lot of short gills.
After serving as a bombardier in the Air Force, returned to act, this time in the big screen. He became the first American actor to star.
These Mayapple Rusts, if you have Mayapples, I do. I've never seen any rust on my Mayapples, but other people have reported this. It's orange sporangia that grows on the Mayapple. If people are familiar with the Mayapple, they didn't even give us a picture of a Mayapple here.
That's not a different rust.
This is the Mayapple
Oh.
Rust.
Okay, it says that. Yeah, right. Yeah, I thought the genus name was something different, but maybe it's always been that.
Yeah, and this is what a Mayapple is. If you're not familiar with it, it has a little fruit that I've been told is actually edible.
The
But I've
fruit
never eaten it. Yeah.
is
Are those the spores of the mayapple fungus? Those are really cool. I'm going to have to try to find this stuff just to scope some spores.
Yeah, they have all these appendices.
Brandon said the microscopy was real fun on these.
cool.
The, these spores are way cooler than the Gymnotonia that I was sharing.
So you have a different genus on the ones that you have found on Mayapples, or you were seeing a different kind of rust on a different plant?
Different rust, different
Oh,
plant.
Okay.
sorry. In terms of edibility, I believe I think it's actually just the inner juice of the Mayapples, and I eat them when they're ripe, which is like in August. But I pierce the outer skin and just squeeze out the inner juice and not swallow any seeds nor any of the outer skin because that I believe is toxic.
Yeah. I knew there was a trick to it. I've never tried it.
It's
I do
very
have enough.
tastes like the red Jolly Rancher candy. That's the flavor. I always
Alright.
and I always think they must have gotten the flavor from that for the candy.
I hope not, if it's toxic.
Oh no, but the inner juice is not. It's very good. It's not toxic. The inner juice.
Alright. This one I'm surprised. All right, this was seen in June of 23. I'm not sure why we're seeing it so far back. Another fall mushroom, the black staining polypore.
That's a summer mushroom for the most part. Meripilus sumstinei. It's
Yeah, just thinking that we didn't have any observations on our naturalists if we're already back into 2023, previous years.
Somebody just
Oh,
uploaded
somebody
it.
submitted it very
Somebody
late.
just
Okay.
uploaded it. Right.
Yeah, okay. And they didn't send too many pictures. This one, bruise is black. Of course, that's another. They didn't do a very nice observation. But for pretty soon, a little stained black, like you bruised it really bad, even though you really only touched it a little.
sometimes you have to wait for about 20 minutes for the bruise to set in, and it helps if you rub the fronds with your fingers.
Well, I know it's usually bruised by the time I get back from the foray. I mean, from harvesting it and bringing it back to the tables for identification.
Okay, yeah, it's probably at least 20 minutes. It's people mistake this for Grifola frondosa, hen of the woods, which is a very popular edible where I live. And almost every year, someone will tell me that they found sheep's head mushroom, aka hen of the woods, Grifola frondosa, in July. And I have stopped trying to explain to them that they did not find sheep's head mushroom, that they found black staining polypore, because you can eat black staining polypore. It will not harm you. It just doesn't taste quite as good as hen of the woods, aka sheep's head.
This is a very large mushroom. You can't miss it on the base of a tree, usually oak. Am I correct on that?
Yeah, usually oak. I don't know if I've seen this on anything other than oak. Hen of the woods is also usually on oak, but not exclusively.
Well, I guess we can talk about the cedar apple rust, which is on junipers, which I've never seen in person. It's large orange stuff. And I've only seen pictures where it's very high up in the tree. But you wouldn't think of a rust as having these big growths.
Yeah, that's because the rust stage is a different stage of the same fungus. So this thing that comes out in spring, it looks like orange icicles, and those orange icicles burst forth from a pod that looks like like an acorn almost. And then the spores come out of these orange icicles, and then they germinate and fruit into a rust on apple tree leaves. So if you find this juniper thing on your property and you have apple trees, then this fungus is putting your apple trees at risk.
I wonder what this looked like on that one.
Can you repeat that?
I'd love to see what the spores look like on that one.
Have you done spores for us?
I had this on my property once, but you see the picture there that went by? It looks sort of like an acorn. That's what you'll see in late winter, very early spring. You'll see that on your junipers. And then that means that these orange icicles are not far off in the future. So we've had this on our property on some small wild growing cedars, which we cut down and burned. Which we weren't happy about that. We liked having cedars on our property, but there was really no way to deal with how many of these acorn things were on the cedar trees, and they were all going to burst forth into this stuff. And then we have apple trees on our property. So I didn't wait for these orange things to come out. Looks like a bunch of carrots there, doesn't it?
Yeah.
To be able to look at spores.
Did you see the picture? The one that was on the leaves? They were like tall shoots out of that spot on they look like on the apple leaves.
I don't know which one you're referring to, Chris.
Oh, wait, right down a little bit more. That.
Yeah, there you go. That's what happens to the apple trees. That's why it's called a rust.
I did not know that it did that.
And does this come out?
Which picture do you mean?
The ones that she's scrolling over that
Oh,
look
the
like
one in the middle. Oh, I never saw that.
I've never
I didn't
seen
know
that.
either.
Maybe they're mistaken.
I thought it just made a spreading, like that target thing, the rust, like that. I thought that's what it did. Wow, it makes that more three-dimensional thing. I didn't know that.
That's pretty cool.
Oh, it looks like an
Wow.
insect call.
Like a what?
Insect call.
Yeah, so it attacks the leaves and makes these other things both, I guess.
If anybody's joined and has something to show, let me know. Otherwise, we're just waiting for, Dave or Jen to have something ready to present, or Chris.
I have mine ready.
Okay, so let me stop share and let you share a recent find from you.
Yeah. All right, I found these just this week. And they've got all the little scales on them. And then there's a couple of different bunches. There's a little bit older ones that, I don't know, just different, little bit different weather happening, wore a bunch of the little scales off. And now that it's starting to spread out, they get all, is that striate? And after a day or so,
They have deliquest.
so you can see these are the first two clumps, and then the deliquest one's on the other side of the tree.
And this is an oak.
No, it's a maple. And then
And this is the Coprinellus mica, or something else.
oh, I'm not sure. I'm terrible with these things.
I think
But
it's like it.
It's something in that complex, right?
I'd say so. Yeah. One of the so-called mica cap species.
Real black spore print.
Yeah, pure black. So these spores really appear to be mostly what's the adjective?
Mitriform?
Mitriform. They look like a bishop's mitre.
Right.
Some of them are strongly mitriform. Look, they have the point on top, the truncate end at the germ pore. And some of them are turned at a different angle, so they look like they're just sort of asymmetrical ellipsoid, sort of. But lots of them look strongly mitriform. That points toward the species Coprinellus micaceus. I believe. I think that's the one that has the strongly mitriform spores.
I'm not familiar with mitriform. How do you spell it? Is it
Mitriform? And there might be an E on the end. I forget.
Well, no, still not finding it. Yeah, well, I'll keep looking.
So what is it like?
Quo says sub-elliptical to mitriform.
Yeah, the ones that are turned so that they don't look like they're mitriform, those are the sub-elliptical. So it just depends on how the spore is profiled.
Yeah.
But I think the other species, there's at least one other species that the mushrooms look like these, and that's Coprinellus truncorum. And I believe it's Quo who says that those lack the strongly mitriform spores.
When we talk about Quo, we're talking about mushroomexpert.com.
Mushroom expert, right. Sorry.
Just for the people who are new.
Right. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, he says truncorum has more elliptical, less mitriform.
Which one has the Colocystidia, since you're looking at that, Hunter? I think it's micaceus that has the Colocystidia, but I might be wrong.
And where is that? Is that usually up near like the top? Because maybe
but more of them up near the apex of the stipe.
Maybe I'll go get a fresh one of these tomorrow.
I think that's the way it goes. I think it's micaceus that has the cholecystidia.
That's it. Cholecystidia near the apex.
What is going on with that? Anyway, that was that's what I found out there. That's the only mushroom I've seen.
Those are edible when the gills are still white.
Well, they're still white.
Yeah, when they first come out the gills, well, they're not pure white; they're like off white. And as the spores mature, they become black. And I wouldn't eat that. I think I've only eaten them once or twice a long time ago, and they were nothing
awfully
special.
thin. What kind of texture would they have after you cook them?
Not a whole lot, but as you can see in the photos, when they fruit, you might be able to get a 50 in it, with one swipe of your knife.
I've read actually that by the way, hello, and secondly, even after they deliquesce, the inky caps are still edible. But this is not an inky cap. Is there a difference between this deliquescing and that one?
Yeah, I don't know. You know what? This thing about the Coprinus being edible after it deliquesces is new to me. I mean, all the older books that I sort of grew up with, they all say don't eat the Coprinus after it starts to deliquesce. The older books will tell you as soon as the gills start turning pink, if you eat them, you might get sick. But I have heard people say over the last few years that even after they begin to deliquesce, Coprinus comatus remains edible. I have not tried it, except for very fresh, pure white ones.
And for all inky caps, I think it's not good to have alcohol with them. Right? That has a bad reaction.
One species.
Oh, that's only some species. Like the shaggy mane inky cap is okay with alcohol.
They say shaggy manes sometimes have trace amounts of coprine in them, and that some people might be particularly sensitive to that. So caution is advised. But it's species of Coprinopsis that have the significant percentages of coprine in them. Coprinopsis atramentaria is the official alcohol inky. And it looks not totally unlike a shaggy mane. It's just not very shaggy.
I can put a
picture
in the chat. I've got one. I'll put it in the chat.
Okay. If anybody has something to share, just tell me, type a note in the chat and I'll get to you.
Got one I can share. Sue?
Okay. Yes. Do you want to take control of the screen?
Yes. Yes. We are that away. I think we were talking about this Agrocybe earlier. I'm not sure which one I have here. This is right in my yard. I believe it to be Agrocybe anyway.
Looks small.
Yeah, it is small.
You get so possibly Agrocybe pediades. That's a lawn mushroom that occurs in spring, and it's small.
So should I be seeing some sort of annulus here, or not necessarily? Or
I'm not seeing an annulus. Now, some accounts that I have read for Agrocybe pediades say that it has a partial veil. I have never seen a partial veil on that species, and it grows in my yard, and it grows in lots of places around here where I live. And I mean, I think this is a pretty good candidate for that. There are some other small Agrocybe species. Agrocybe, vervacti, I think might be the name.
Okay.
It's a small Agrocybe. The spore. Oh, you got spores. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Truncate spores. I think that eliminates vervacti. I think I'd have to look it up. Do you have a size on these? Because pediades has pretty big spores.
10, 10 by
they're
6.
pretty big spores. Yep. Looks like they're like 15 microns, some of them.
They're 10 by 6.
Oh, that's only 10? But
10
I see
is
20. I see the
well,
little bar, 20 microns.
Yeah.
And
Well,
these
the
temps
individual ones are.
Let me
Yeah, I
see.
measured about 10 of them at those numbers there. So 0.7 by 6.3. But yeah.
some of them are bigger than 10 though,
Look at-
right?
Go back
Yeah,
to
maybe.
go back to that shot.
I saw 11.
Yeah, I
Look at
thought
the-
I saw
does that-
12.
Does that say 20 in the lower left? Is there another little reticle in the lower left?
It says that also. Huh. It
Yeah,
also
so-
says 20.
Oh, I
Huh.
see.
If you're going by that one,
Huh.
these
That's odd.
measurements make sense.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah. This is something I just learned from my to embed this scale here, and this is I think my first picture doing it. I think I must have messed up something on the scale, so that's interesting. I didn't notice that those are both. Well, no, are they the same?
They seem similar length.
Yeah, maybe they are the
I guess
same. It's
maybe-
just that
maybe
Oh,
they
is
are the
that an
same length.
optical illusion? Because the
Yeah, it
one is
might be.
thick.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe it is just because of the heaviness of the line. I don't know. I'm still playing with that. What else did I write about this here? I think isn't sometimes KOH a sort of an indicator as far as being reddish or pink and on Agrocybe? This one had a sort of a negative reaction to the KOH.
Oh, I'm not sure about that.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, it is a pretty small one. So this is just popping up in my yard. I will go on to another one that I'm finding a lot. I think this is Kuehneromyces. Growing up, it looks like it's growing out of this wood here. It's growing right out of the leaf litter, out of this, between this piece of wood here. Has a very sort of a dark colored cap, and then it seems to lighten up rather quickly. I have spores on this one too.
There's the partial veil.
Yeah.
Which is also a lot of Agrocybe will also have partial veil. So
right.
Small Agrocybe with partial veil and large Kuehneromyces can be confused. But Kuehneromyces is usually small, like these guys. Like this biggest one is, maybe 2 centimeters.
Right. Yeah, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
What else? There's that. There's these small ones that I pulled out. Pretty long, spindly stems on there. Whoops, a little too much magnification there, but you can see the that veil there that's breaking up.
Yeah, and that's
think,
good because you can see how sometimes when the veil breaks apart in a less sequential way, it'll form a ring on the stalk of Coprinellus marginellus that looks like almost like a funnel, right, very close to the top of the stalk.
Yes.
So there's 2 species that occur in spring: Coprinellus marginellus and Coprinellus lignicola.
Right.
My guess is this is Coprinellus marginellus. Become this very, very common, usually right after morel season.
Yes.
And it's all over the woods. It's on the ground on growing from little sticks and litter and buried wood, and sometimes on larger pieces of wood. And there's your spores. And so this is how you know you don't have Galerina. Of course, I'm not going to suggest that you eat Chronomyces. It looks too much like Galerina for my taste. But notice the truncate spores. And it looks like these lengths are, I'm going to guess these lengths are verging on 9 microns, which
I have 8, 8 by 4, something like that. Some of them are
over, looks like over 8, 8.3, 8.6, verging on 9 microns. Yeah, so the spores of Chronomyces marginellus are a little bit bigger than the spores of Chronomyces lignicola, which I think the spores of Chronomyces lignicola are, I think they're under 8 microns. So otherwise, these species are pretty similar.
Right. And and I guess because of the early season, I know there's another one. What is it? Mutabilis, maybe? That has a much more scaly stipe.
I'm not even sure I ever found that. It used to be in the field guides as this really common mushroom. But I don't know if I've ever found it. It supposedly forms great big clusters.
Умер известный нам личность Владимир Молчанов.
Somebody speaking Russian.
Радиоведущий, журналист. 75, 7 октября 50 года. Онкология.
Hey, Igor.
Yeah. I didn't mute him.
И ранее стало известно о смерти на 40.
Okay.
So I'm trying to think what else. Actually, I think was it last week or 2 weeks ago? I think, or maybe last week before you signed on, Dave. We looked at an observation that you had put on of lignicola.
Yeah, it was a rather large fruiting directly on a large log. And the spores were smaller than these. If I'd have to look again and review, but I think the spores were all under 8 microns. I can look at that and verify. It'll just take me a second.
Right. So okay, well, I seem to be stumbling on this one a lot this time of year, even though it's also very dry here in Maryland. And maybe I'll just skink. This Dacromyces. This one here. I think this is Dacromyces. This is growing on hardwood. But I'm not sure which species it might be.
Are you sure this was on hardwood?
Yeah, I am, because this is that's really the places I go are incredibly rare that I go into a place that has any conifers. So this is probably on tulip or oak.
I think there's one Dacromyces that grows on hardwood. I think is it Stellatus that grows on hardwood? Let me check. Might be.
There is one. I forget which
Pediades
one it is.
hardwood.
I have some micro photos also, but this one seems to be growing a little bit of a stipe on here, almost a little stem on some of these.
I wonder if we should consider Dacromyces.
Dacromyces. Oh, okay.
Those are stipae.
Well, so
they grow in big groups. Is Stellatus stipate?
I don't know if Stellatus is. I think Capratus is, though.
Okay,
but these aren't, fan shaped like Dacromyces.
They're not shaped the right way. You're right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there you go. That's Dacromyces.
I think these Y-shaped.
I think Dacromyces has that as well, but I don't think these are Dacromyces. But I think they have the tuning fork basidia as well. I think I would have to double check. That's a nice photo.
Yeah,
through the microscope of showing the tuning fork basidia.
Thank you very much.
But what it does do is rule out any of the tremellas or other yellow jelly fungi, I think.
Yes, it does. And so do these spores that look like grubs.
Yep.
Yeah, I think the 3 septa, I think, are also common on the mature.
I was
mature
thinking
ones.
pickle because they got that little end.
Yeah, exactly. Or a little sausage.
A little sausage.
Yeah. Yeah. So tremella, true witch's butter, has like broadly ellipsoid spores without any septa.
That's it. Yeah. All right. So yeah, I'll have to. Any thoughts on the species? Suggestions there for the specific species here?
Let me check a couple things because you have good info there, and if it's on hardwood, that narrows it down, I think. Yeah, I think I think Capra or whatever the cap one is.
Okay, it starts with CAP. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I lost my page real quick.
That's what I was thinking as well, but I couldn't remember it exactly either.
Yeah, if anyone can confirm that's the one that grows on hardwood, I think that's a good bet. Because the spore.
Mushroom expert does say the capitatus is on hardwood, but they also has another one that says it's on hardwood too. The minor.
Yeah, minor might be in play.
Minor. Okay. Wow. All right.
Let me get back to the Microscopically page. I'll put something in the
so
chat.
Does Stellatus. So all 3 of them that the mushroom expert has all claims hardwood.
Yeah, and I don't think Stellatus is this stipitate.
Okay.
But
All right. Well, thanks, Brandon, and everybody. I think I'll just stop sharing at this point.
Well, we go on to Xiong has something. Hunter, you wanted to share the.
Oh, I just put it in the chat. I think people probably maybe saw it.
Yeah. Okay. You didn't give the link or anything to anything specific, but the Coprinopsis atramentaria.
It's my photo, so there's no link.
Oh.
So there's my photo, and then Xiong says she has one, but underneath that I put the name of.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
I got a video, I think. I don't think I got a photo. It doesn't want to do anything here. I can download it.
Under Hi Bianca, there's not a photo.
Well, when I click on it, it wants to play, but let me see if I can.
Okay, it is, yeah, weird. It's from a PowerPoint. It's still can play though, huh?
Let's see. Oh no, I got it, but oh, I can see it now. All right, let me share the screen.
Okay.
Sure.
So this is the one that you would not want to drink alcohol with, and it tends, so it's bell shaped. It's tends to grow on or near tree roots. So this is a pretty typical presentation. It doesn't have the scales in the way that a shaggy mane does, and yeah, this is tippler's bane. So the one I wrote tippers, but it's supposed to be tippler's bane. So the one that you would not want to consume alcohol with. It contains the coprine, which has the same effect as antabuse, except even stronger. If you were to consume alcohol, you become very sick. Typically temporarily, but maybe for a few days, and it would not be worth it for sure.
Thank you. Shihong, are you ready to share your screen or?
Okay, I can share. Let me just I'm using my cell phone to share, so let me see if I can share screen. Okay. Can you see my screen yet?
Coming.
Okay, let's find the thing.
We see it.
Oh, yay.
Yeah, I think Brandon found these recently too.
Oh, okay. So I put it in naturally. Give me a name, but there's no explanation or anything. So tell me about this.
Well, it's a species of
Nice
Metrula.
Matrula.
Yeah, we need
Mhm.
to do microscopy to put a species name on it, right?
Yeah, get some. You just lie down the yellow head on a microscope slide. Wait for maybe 12 hours. You should get enough spores to fall on the slide that you'll actually see a thin coating. And then mount them, and I would use a stain because I think these spores might be hard to see without a stain because they're going to be white and they might be clear. So if it's Metrula elegans, it's going to have spores that are shaped like cigars, long and thin. And if it's Metrula lunulatospora, it's going to have spores that are shaped like crescent moon.
Did you get your shoes wet getting this thing?
Not really, but it is in the water. Yeah. So let's see the photo. Yeah, that's
There
where.
we are.
Yeah.
That's a nice fruiting.
Yeah, classic too. That
Uh-huh.
just
It's the first time I saw those things.
yeah, they're so cool. I love them. Was this water slightly moving? Because that's where I
Yeah.
usually
Yeah.
find them.
It is. It's by a river on the side part of a river.
Yep, yep, that's where you find them.
Yeah. What's the name again?
Trula.
Chula.
M
Mitral.
MIT
MIT
RULA.
RULA. Chula. Can you type it,
Mitrula.
please?
It is. It's
Yeah,
in the
Type in
chat.
the chat, please.
I put it
Yeah.
in the chat.
Okay. Yeah, that's all I want to share. I did
yeah,
see some golden oyster mushroom last weekend at Duke Farm. Looked like it had one flash before I saw that already. And I saw some pheasants back also. What else I saw? I did not take too many pictures because I know them already. So
What was the last one you said?
the pheasants back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's what I see at the Duke's Farm. At Harrison Park, I hiked. That's the only thing I saw, but it's new to me, so I took pictures.
I'm so envious. I've not seen this ever. I guess it might be around, but
Yeah, they're tiny, so it's hard to notice.
yeah, I really have to keep my eye open. But it was good to see it in your hand because it's not that tiny. You know what I
right.
mean?
Yeah,
Tiny enough, right?
Yeah,
but they're
but
not like a couple millimeters. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like some of
right.
these other tiny things can be.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
so I'm
there's usually a
encouraged.
lot of them, so they do
Yes,
kind of stand out.
that helps. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
I gotta find it.
there's a really popular walking trail that I don't like going to look for fungi because it's so popular. Um, but these fruit right off of the trail there, and I'm seeing so many INAP posts that are just calling them Mitrula elegans, and I've had to stop trying to tell people like, it could be that or something else. But so I'm just letting them ride now. But yeah, they stand out enough if they're like right off the trail, but normally they're not, you
Are
know.
are they research grade?
Yes, and it drives me
Wow.
nuts.
Yeah.
I just pulled up a map of my naturals for the Matrula.
Yeah, let me stop
It's,
sharing. You can how do I do? Yeah, so you can share the.
yeah, much to share. Share. I don't see much in the way of Matrula in Illinois.
Oh, but
But you
Wisconsin,
can be the first.
yeah, Wisconsin though, I will,
Wisconsin.
yeah,
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you got some in there.
yep, good. I'm going tomorrow, so I'll keep my eyes open. But yeah, I'm gonna be to the west, so gonna have to wait. I might miss it, darn it. I don't know if I'll get to see it. Glad you
Well,
shared it.
it's gonna presumably it would fruit later up there.
True. Yeah, I wonder. I probably won't get to the other part till late June.
Okay, that's Wisconsin. Let's see when they appear.
Oh, June 3rd.
Yeah, okay. So you can start looking them anytime, the end of May. Yeah. So Brendan's right. Just look for them a little later.
Yeah, okay. Okay, I'll keep my fingers crossed. I'd love to see it.
Where
Okay.
is the Matrula paludosa observation from? Is that from Europe? Oh, Jackson County, Wisconsin, and it's research
Well, that's
grade.
because I pulled up Wisconsin. I pulled up
Yeah,
Wisconsin.
so why is this research grade from Wisconsin? I think that someone has believed to have found paludosa in North America, but it would be rare.
That's the one that whenever we talk about these things, it's like, okay, there's elegans, there's Lunulataspora, and then is paludosa in North America, or is that a different, or is it one of the other two?
Yeah, I'm guessing it's just mislabeled. This one from, what was it, Wisconsin?
Is swamp beacon used for all the Matrulas or just?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know
I would assume so. Or
posted
maybe
and called it them that. So, okay.
Dave, would you like to go next, or Jason? If Jason's out of his car.
Dave, there's a paludosa from Pennsylvania. You want to check that one out?
Yeah, go. Let's check that out. I'm curious. I want to see what's up there.
Do they look any different? I want to see.
Oh, I know this guy, Jerry Hassinger. He's probably using a field guide that's 40 years old.
Oh wow, those almost.
Yeah, I know this guy.
Well, his observations
he takes
for
very nice
old
photos.
too.
He uses a lot of older names.
It almost looks like an earth tongue.
20-year-old observation.
Yeah. So who seconded it as paludosa? When is this from? See, it's from 2006. It's from 2000. Observed 2006.
Maricel popped in there.
Marcel.
And just said,
Maricel, genus Matrula, she said. Okay.
Right.
And then somebody else said paludosa after that, because that looked like it was research grade.
No, he did the paludosa. So you get research grade, even though.
So it's just genus Matrula. Okay.
Yeah.
Looks like it drove her nuts too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she says it's European.
Well, that was nice of her to even tell him why. Okay. Perfect.
Yeah, I know Jerry. Jerry Hassinger is a retired Pennsylvania biologist who is he is a generalist naturalist who really knows a lot more about mammals and like amphibians and things like that. But he's got an interest in everything, and he takes a lot of nice photos. But he probably got this name out of an old field guide. I think, you know what, I think probably in the Audubon, North American Audubon mushroom field guide, it's probably Paludosa in there.
Yeah, and it might even mention if it's growing out of moss specifically. Maybe it's Paludosa, which this one seems to be, right? Isn't Paludosa a moss associated name?
There's some other thing that looks like Mitrula that grows in moss. It's not even a Mitrula, but it's a northern thing. It grows like further north. Yeah, this is interesting. That appears to be in moss. Yeah. Looks like there's water, though. Looks like there's water there.
Right. I'm wondering if, just based on the name Paludosa, if I'm not mistaken, that means something related to moss, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So maybe if you find what you think is a Mitrula in water, but there's moss there, an older field guide might be calling that Paludosa.
I have the Audubon. I'll have to look in it and see what they say.
AI says Paludosa means swampy or marshy.
Because I usually find Mitrula in running water, cold running water, little tiny streams that you can almost jump over, with a lot of organic material on the bottom of the stream, which is where Mitrula typically fruits from stuff like that. But I don't know if this is fruiting on moss. There's something else that looks like Mitrula that fruits on moss, I think. Interesting.
If we went in there and asked it to suggest what it would be, can we do that even though it's not our observation? You know what I mean?
Don't know.
And make it give us suggestions.
What was the question?
If somebody else's thing, can I ask iNaturalist AI to tell me what it suggests, even though it's already been given something?
Yes.
I opened up my
if you go down to recommend ID or whatever it is, suggest an identification.
Oh, you think that will give me no, it doesn't look like it's giving me the AI thing.
Okay, well, put your cursor in the species name and hit click real quick.
Oh, very good. Okay, that's what we want. Dacromyces, definitely not.
The Audubon has a Paludosa listed in here. On decaying leaves in wet soil, swamps, sphagnum bogs, or temporary pools and woods.
I wouldn't mistake any of these for Mitrula.
Sphagnum bog looks like moss, you know.
Anything else on Mitrula before we go on to other observations? Okay. Dave, are you ready? Because it's after 8 o'clock.
Oh, yeah, sure.
All right.
Those could be some sort of earth tongue.
I think those things were Mitrula.
Yeah, I do too. And Dave, were you thinking of microglossum?
No, I'm not thinking of microglossum. That fruits from the ground, dry ground. I think, for the most part. Now there's a thing it's up north. It's like up near the Arctic Circle, I think, that grows in moss that looks like Mitrula, and I forget the name. And iNat is not even really referencing it. Maybe based on the location.
And Hunter, just to kind of hammer home that I agree those last things were Mitrula and not like an earth tongue or something. There's a clear delineation between the white fragile stipe and the kind of
Yes.
gumdrop type head.
Yes. Yes. Right. Mm-hmm.
Which an earth tongue, that delineation between the tongue part and the stipe, it's way more inconspicuous, right?
Yeah, yeah, usually. So, I saw a couple pictures online that were, I don't know, a little bit similar, and the head on one of those sort of has that line down the middle.
Yep.
Yeah, but
Yep.
I mean, I buy what you guys are saying.
I hope you find one of these things and get to see it in real life, because
I know.
there's such a different texture to those heads. When I say gumdrop, that's kind of an apt description when they're fresh. They're
Really?
they're not quite jelly, because there's a little more firmness to them. But like
Cool.
an earth tongue, I don't know if you've held
Yeah.
an earth tongue before, they are, pretty structurally sound, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Solid. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, I'm not getting much. The picture's loading here. He's not loading the picture. Oh, I put it all the way on the bottom.
Rufum was the one
Okay.
that I was thinking that you might mistake that for. I mean, what we were just looking at is not Rufum, but not entirely dissimilar. Like Dave said, this isn't going to be found in running water or something like that.
But a sphagnum bog, I think they could be in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Certainly.
Cool. Oh, those are so neat.
But
Back
even
to
still,
Dave on his
you can
recent
see on
finds.
that photo how the head and the foot are. It's not a
Sorry, I'll
clear
get back to it.
yellow and white.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Cool. Thanks.
Dave?
Yeah,
Okay, so we've got
sorry,
some
Dave.
Earth stars here,
that was me.
barometer Earth stars that open and close according to humidity levels. And I'm not sure when these things fruited. I seem to find them most often in spring, so maybe they fruit in spring. Although I wonder if they fruit in fall and just overwinter. Maybe they close up. See, this is after I brought them home. So this was a few hours after I harvested them, and look, they're closing up. See, the rays are bending up over the spore sac. So this is an American name, Smithii. I forget the old name, which is a European name, which is going to appear in some of the older field guides. I forget what it is.
Hygrometricus.
Hydrometricus. That sounds right. Yep.
Nice.
A pretty cool thing to find.
Yeah, really fun.
If anyone, Dave, you've been to the Pine Barrens. Hunter, if you ever make your way to the Pine Barrens, which you should.
Yeah.
This thing is just everywhere, all year round. You can find Australia Smithii like anywhere you go in the Pine Barrens. And Dave, it's probably because of what you mentioned. The fruit could be from like 2 years ago, maybe. I don't know. But you know what it is when you find it.
Right. Yep.
That's very interesting. I mean, I think of the Pine Barrens as kind of like a barren, arid area. and maybe I'm wrong on that, but in Arizona in the wintertime, all you see is this or a similar as like a false Earth star everywhere. So yeah, it's interesting. But then sometimes in lush, fresh, wet environments, I'll see other Earth stars too, but not in the quantities like you're talking.
Yeah, sometimes you see a lot of these in one area. The place where I found these 2 days ago, or was it? No, it was yesterday. Um, there were like two more that I saw. Maybe there were more there and I didn't see them.
So three. Anything to say about the spores?
Excuse me?
Anything to say about the spores?
They're round.
Always,
yeah, rounded.
Okay.
And I haven't verified with descriptions, but the one thing that does stand out to me about these spores is the diameters are quite variable. I mean, look at the difference between the biggest and smallest ones. It's pretty notable. And I just finished making this online post before I pasted it into the email and sent it. So I haven't really gone through yesterday's observations yet and verified, using descriptions in field guides or online resources. So, but I'm guessing this is a trait associated with this species, is the variably sized spores.
Very cool.
So right on the border of my property, there's remnants of an old stone wall, and on either side of that part of the property, there are hickory trees and a few other hardwoods, and there's usually a lot of forest litter on the ground, mixed in with the ground. And I'm pretty sure this is a Daconica. I'm not sure. I haven't really assessed my proposal here yet, but I think this is probably Daconica because I find these small Daconica mushrooms in the spring in this same area every year. So I'm guessing that's what this is. Another possibility might be Psilocybe, but I think this is probably Daconica. But one of the more interesting things about this observation is the thing that it's not about.
Yeah, I was going to say,
lichen
cuffs. No, that's Mellea, right?
Mellea, yes. I didn't notice the Mellea when I found this mushroom. I was sort of excited to find the mushroom. It was a nice, fresh one.
Oh, man, I was hoping the next observation was going to be the Mellea.
Well, now we have to wait and see. Because I did notice them later on. I did notice the Mellea after I picked up the piece of wood that this thing was attached to, this mushroom. And then I saw, unfortunately, though, I didn't notice this great big bunch of Mellea. And I think when I carved the mushroom off of the piece of wood, I think I probably lost a lot of them. But there were more. But yeah, so
put that in the chat for me, how to spell that. Mellea.
It's coming up. It'll be the next. Yeah, it'll be there in the next observation. So I got spores from this, and Daconica spores are kind of similar to Psilocybe spores because they used to. Daconica is a split off of Psilocybe, so they used to be considered to be non-blue staining Psilocybe and also non-active. But the spores are kind of similar. The print color is different. I didn't really get a print on this because I preserved most of the fruit body. I'll probably put it in for sequencing. I think maybe the next spore photo might be a little better. I used two different cameras now. Oh, that was the last one. Maybe the one before that. Yeah, if you can enlarge this one, if it enlarges, it might not enlarge really well because I cropped it. Click show original image. There we go. Okay, that's not too bad. It's a little hard to see, but some of them are, depending upon how they're profiled, some of these spores are like very, very near, not quite subrhomboid, so like subrhomboid. Also, the Diconica spores tend to have different shapes when profiled differently. So I'm not sure that's what I have here, but I propose it as Diconica because I find Diconica in this same area pretty much every year. And but maybe this is something different. I don't know. This one I'm drying out. I'm going to pull it out of the dryer as soon as we're done here, and I'll save it to put in for sequencing because this is the kind of stuff that we want to have sequenced. There's little things that are hard to identify.
Yeah, can we go back to the shot of the gills? See if Diconica should have mottling or marginate or something, right?
Yeah, this one actually has the crenate gill edges, and I think that's actually more of a Psilocybe trait. So I'm going to have to, do a little assessing here of my proposal.
Yeah, and maybe scope some of that gill material. Looks like it just the very edge could be very interesting.
Yeah. Diconica have a lot of Chyloscystidia, though, I believe, and they're kind of long also. So that would sort of fit in with this crenate appearance on the gill edges. So I'm not sure. I'm not convinced I'm right about this, but it was sort of a cool observation. The mushroom was nice. And maybe, like I said, maybe the most interesting thing about it was the thing that this observation is not about. That bunch of little molybdea. So if we go to the next one, you can guess now. See, Brandon already guessed, and I don't know about this species name. I just got it off Microscopically. Melaleuca. That might be wrong. I don't know because there's more than one molybdea. I'll straighten this stuff out in time. Maybe someone will come on and straighten it out for me. But there they are. That's a whole bunch of these little cups, these tiny cup fungi on this branch where this other agaric was growing from. And I got some photos through the loop. So, this is not through the loop. This is just that same photo that was in the other observation. I just sort of cropped it so we're looking at one area. So this is through a loop. It's not a great photo, but it's good enough. You can see what's going on here. It's these little cup fungi. And these are sort of soft, unlike a lichen. These are not hard. And I went back out today and found the log or the stick, and I actually managed to take a razor blade and slice one of these off the wood. And these are really small. I mean, they're less than a millimeter for the most part. I mean, the great big ones are like maybe a millimeter. But I managed to get one off the wood and smash mount it, and I got spores. And I think these spores match this Molybdea melaleuca. I'm once again, I'm going to have to assess these proposals because I didn't have time to do that yet. There's an ascus up there, sort of diagonally positioned. So I can get a measurement on that and see how that fits. But I think this is what the spores are supposed to look like. But for all I know, there's all of the Molybdea species have spores that look like this. So I'm going to have to do a little research on this.
Nice job, though, just getting the spores on those tiny little things.
I just got lucky. I took a razor blade and I was looking through my glasses and trying to aim the blade at one of these little things. And by luck, I sliced one off. And it went right onto the microscope slide. It fell right onto the slide. And then I was able to smash it in some Congo red and water. I did not want to overdo the Congo red because sometimes it's too dark and it obscures what you're trying to see. So I probably should have used maybe a little more Congo red, but this came out okay. You can see this. You can see the spores well enough to get some decent estimates on dimensions, which I have not done yet.
So, Dave, the fruit body that you did the micro on, because it's interesting. Was it one of the yellow ones or was it one of the darker ones, grayish?
Well, it was one of the gray ones, I think. I'm pretty sure. Because what do you think? There might be two species here.
I'm not sure because when I saw the gray ones in the previous photo, it was like, yeah, that's Molybdea cinerea. The gray ones here, I would say, are cinerea. But Molybdea cinerea, I don't believe. I would have to look it up. I don't think that ever presents as yellow or tan or anything other than sometimes they're white. But they're either like white or gray or black. I don't know if I've ever seen a description that mentions yellow or.
Well, I'm probably going to come on to these observations and change the proposal to just genus Molybdea. I'm trying to dry some of this stuff out.
Yeah.
By just drying the piece of wood that it's on. But it's going to be so small, I'm probably not going to be able to shave any off the wood for sequencing. I had some.
Don't throw it in the dehydrator. Just dry it on your windowsill.
That's what I should have done, really.
Yeah,
it's in the dehydrator. It's probably these things are probably going to shrink to nothing.
Is this the type of thing though that if you rehydrated the wood, they would perk up?
Yeah,
possibly.
Yep, they definitely are. But yeah, Molybdea at least. This photo is really cool because I don't know. Is that all the same thing?
I don't know. I mean, look at the ones in upper center. They are shaped exactly the same, but one's gray and one's yellow.
Yeah, and the ones in the smaller ones in the lower left, they're the exact same size. They have that
look at that.
They have the same rim, right?
Yeah. My guess is it's all the same species. I mean, it's on the same piece of wood. But
apparently there's 121 different species of Molybdea.
Oh, jeez.
This is the fun that I get to when I'm looking at these things. I love them, but
121 different species, and I proposed a species name.
Right.
I guess somebody is going to correct me on this, I imagine, but that's fine. I just found this yesterday afternoon. And in fact, I had to go back out to the spot on my property and see if there were still a few on this piece of wood to try to get one to smash mount. Because what I did at first was I just took a little piece of the wood and laid it down on a microscope slide, but all I got was wood.
Yeah, that's the problem. And wood, a little piece of wood when you're trying to do a smash mount is not helpful.
Yeah. Well, I actually managed to get a decent seal on the mount, and then I start looking around, and it's just like little pieces of wood. I mean, I didn't find any spores or anything. So, but I managed to get some micro out of this, and that, of course, will be useful, hopefully.
Yeah.
In either, possibly eliminating some some species names. We'll see. I still have to do some work on those.
Yeah, good observation though. Cool find.
Yeah, that one turned out pretty good. Yeah, we'll see what I can do with it.
Yeah.
Oh, there we are. Okay, it's the fourth one, I guess we're up to.
Yep.
Oh, okay. So this is bound to generate some controversy online because I'm calling it Polyporus fagicola or fagicola or whatever. Because somebody is going to come on and say this should be Brasidolia. And so there's arguments about, oh, geez, Polyporus craterellus, Polyporus fagicola, Brasidolia fagicola. There's a lot of arguments all the time about what this thing should be called. Now, I think spore dimensions are actually kind of key in figuring these things out. And I did get spores. Spores dropped right out of it. There they are. And I haven't assessed this proposal yet. Like I said, I just got done. I just posted these online. Literally, it was like 6:50 when I was posting on INET and importing to MO all these observations. So I've got spores though. I can assess dimensions, and that should be helpful. But this is not the Blackfoot polypore that people run into in the woods in spring. It's almost like impossible to not see that Neophavalus. There's more than one species, Neophavalus, but this is not that. This is different.
Is this larger?
Yeah, it's a little bit larger. Yep.
And is it solitary much of the time?
Yeah, it's usually solitary.
Mm-hmm.
And the cap, you can't see the cap on this one very well. It was kind of eroded and messy. It looks like a very small dryad saddle, Cereoporus squamosus. It looks more like a tiny dryad saddle than a Neophavalus, than a Blackfoot polypore. You can see here the top of the cap is just kind of eroded.
Dave, when you're saying Neophavalus, do you mean Pisces?
No.
Yeah, because, or do you mean both?
Oh, that's right. There's more than one thing that they call Blackfoot polypore. Pisces badius and Neophavalus, well, for lack of better species name, Alveolaris, Americanus, whatever. They call both of those Blackfoot polypore. I'm sorry. This is what I get for using a common name.
Well,
are you still thinking of a different one though?
Yeah, I don't think
Neophavalus
is.
It just doesn't have a black foot.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right.
You're thinking of.
I'm thinking of Cereoporus leptocephalus / varius. Okay, thank you. Thank you for your patience. Right? While I stumbled around with this, confusing everyone with Neophavalus. Right?
Well, no, I mean, Neophavalus is a cryptic thing in my mind, so I didn't know if there were some Neophavalus that have a black foot.
Well, okay. Well, no, they don't. No, they don't. No, I'm sorry. I got confused with. Yeah, and this thing here is a lot softer fleshed than Cereoporus leptocephalus. Those things are usually pretty resilient, but brittle almost. This thing had dense flesh, but but you can easily rip it apart or bend it.
That's cool. I don't really know this mushroom.
Nah, it's not real common.
I would have called it Brasidolia, but I'm not getting
Yeah,
into that.
well,
I'm
yeah,
not getting into
that
that
might be a
argument.
better name. But I looked it up real fast on Microscopically, and I think they called it polyporus, so that's what I ended up calling it. So I'm probably going to change the ID proposal here eventually, or somebody else might do it for me.
And Fagicola, does that mean it's on Fagus?
I don't even know what this was attached to.
Hmm.
Oh, yeah, it's usually on beach, I guess. Was there beach in the area? There may have been. Where did I find this? State game lines 260. Okay, where was I when I found this? I'd have to look at my time signatures on my photos, and then I can figure out exactly where I was yesterday. It's a mixed hardwood forest. There's a lot of tulip poplar, but there's other hardwoods mixed in.
Cool.
This one?
So also in this state game lines 260, but a different area of state game lines 260, I'm pretty sure, where these things on the ground under on some damp soil. Now maybe there was wood mixed in with the soil. I'm not sure. Under some black cherry trees, and there were shrubs in the area also. So this is pretty cool. I don't know what this is. I mean, maybe Deconica. It could be some kind of Galerina. The spores don't look like Galerina, though. I think. Once again, I haven't really even spent time assessing these. I just sort of threw together these observations real fast so I could share them tonight. These are pretty
Was this
cool.
attached gills?
Yeah, subdecurrent attached, adnate to subdecurrent. It looks now that's a young one. Now maybe as they expand, maybe that attachment changes. I don't know. Did I get a photo of a different mushroom inverted? I should have, but I may have not done that.
Hang on.
Oh yeah, there's the last couple photos. The next photo, yeah, there we go. So that looks like just plain old adnate to me. So the gills are just broadly attached. And I don't know what this is. I mean, I'm almost certain it's brown spored. In fact, I got some spores to fall out of a piece of cap, and I mounted in KOH, or I think it was KO. I should have written it down. I didn't. I think I mounted these in KOH. And so you can see they're not white. If they're white, when you mount in KOH and they're white, you can hardly see them. So these spores were pigmented. And is it possible to enlarge the photo? Let's see. Let's have a look. See if we can enlarge the spore photo. I'd like to see if we have sort of the variable shapes on the spores that you get with Deconica. So, like, if you go on Microscopically and look at some of the Deconica species on there, they'll give you. They won't give you a length times width. They give you like a length times width times width. So they give you like 3 different dimensions because it depends on how the thing is profiled. So I don't know. Could this be Deconica? Deconica seems to be favor fruiting in spring. I'm not seeing a great deal of variability in the shapes here. little bit. Some of them have that sub-rhomboid kind of shape, where meaning that there are almost sides, like four sides, two pairs of parallel sides. Some of them almost look like that. So if I were to make a guess, I would say this is a species of Diconica. But I'm going to spend some time, maybe tomorrow morning or maybe later tonight. I'll see. I'll try to do a little research on these. But, I mean, it's cool bringing home this stuff because we have this sequencing grant for Pennsylvania material. And I just filled up 2 plates that I'm mailing to Steve Russell tomorrow. So that's 192 samples I took, mostly from last year's material, but a few new things as well. And I'm getting 4 more plates to fill up. So I'm going to be able to send a lot of stuff in. And this is the kind of stuff I really like to send in because I don't know what it is. So
I know we've talked about it before, but maybe we can talk about it after we end the recording, but I'd like to know about that grant.
Well, Sam Bucciarelli from the Philly Club, she knows how to do stuff like this, like how to get grants from like private organizations and people. She raised like $4,000.
Oh yeah,
for us to have sequencing done, and that's so Steve is doing pretty well on this. He's getting a few $1,000s out of this deal. But he told me, because I send him a lot of really cool stuff, like, see, he wants all this weird little stuff like this. Like he'll love this, okay? Because he might not have this in his database yet. Or if he does, it's probably not a whole lot of them. Because people don't send in LBMs, so he knows I will send in a lot of stuff like this. So he's going to let me send in extra things, because this is what he likes. He likes this Gallerinas, quartz, mycenas. I mean, quite frankly, it is hard for me to get like all that motivated about, or not mycenas, russulas. Mycenas are actually a little better than russulas. Russulas are so screwed up, you can't tell what they are by looking at them, most of them. But
well, I'm lucky. I'm lucky that we have John Burkhart in the club, so I don't mess with Mycena or I'm sorry, Russula. I just hey John, here's a Russula.
John and Nina know the russulas really, really well, but a lot of what they know, I think, is probably going to be revised in light of sequencing, because there's a lot of things that are coming out that are like, okay, for instance, I sent a thing to Steve Russell. I don't know, or maybe I may have sent it to Ohio. I forget. I forget who I sent what to. But this yellow russula yielded a sequence that aligned it with Russula cyanoxantha, this thing that's supposed to be like grayish blue. So there's going to be a lot of surprises with, and Steve Russell has his numerically coded names. I mean, he's got some that are like, Mycena, Indiana 132. Or not Mycena, I'm sorry, Russula, Indiana 132. I mean, Mycena is almost as bad, but not as bad as Russula.
Which, for anyone tuning in, that means there's 132 undescribed Russulas from
as many as.
As many as. But
as many as. Some of these might end up being lumped into a single species concept. So there might be 20 of those that end up being lumped into a single species concept that has variable ITS.
I doubt
that
that.
sort of thing is bound to happen. But at
I
any
doubt
rate,
that's going to happen. I think a lot of these ITS sequences are verified and they're unique. And as far as I know, it's approaching 200 from Indiana.
oh, it's up to approaching 200.
I know there's 162, which looks the same as parvovirescens. And
okay. Well,
and its ITS sequence is very, very different from parvovirescens.
Wow.
Well, in my tubes that I'm sending in to him tomorrow, I've got a parvovirescens in there, so we'll see what happens with that.
Don't be surprised if it turns out to be something else.
Oh no, I know. I will not be surprised. I am waiting to be not surprised.
In the meantime, I have 2,000 collections of Russoas from the late Rich Bosley. Quietly decaying away in my condo here in plastic boxes.
Oh, jeez.
Anybody wants to procure a grant to sequence those?
You sure still good?
And then back to this thing. Back to this thing. I looked at this photo and I was like, "Is that a like a gymnopus or something like that?"
I think it's got pigmented spores, and the spores definitely don't look like Gymnopus has those like lacrimoid spores. They're really small and they look like teardrops.
Which is why I thought it was interesting, because it's clearly not collibioid type thing.
Yeah, it's not. It's this has pigmented spores. You can almost tell from the gills. Looking at the gills, the spores are going to be pigmented. I mean, that's not you can't always tell from the gill color, but a lot of times you can. And I was not surprised. I expected these to have pigmented spores. That's why I mounted in KOH. If you mount Gymnopus spores in KOH, you don't even see anything. You just see a cloud of, because they're all stuck together. You see like a cloud at 400 times.
And you don't think this is some kind of a foliota?
Well, let's have a. It's not out of the question.
Yeah.
Not out of the question. That would not be a guess that I would make for these, but that's not out of the question. Foliota is a very morphologically diverse genus. Most people think of foliotas as these things that grow on wood and have scales on the cap, but those are the ones that get the most attention. There's a lot of these like terrestrial foliotas, and it's a pretty morphologically diverse genus. I don't think this is foliota, but if it turns out to be foliota, I guess that would only be I would only be moderately surprised.
Are foliota like hygraphinous at all?
Well, the Kuehneromyces are certainly strongly hygraphinous, and those used to be housed in foliota. Are the foliotas hygraphinous? I'm trying to think of one that is. I know I found some foliotas last year that were terrestrial, and I think they may have been hygraphinous. So are these guys hygraphinous, or do they just have a pale cap margin?
Well, there was one fruiting body that was clearly hygraphinous.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you move ahead in the photos, okay. I don't know. I don't know what these are. The mushrooms were in really good condition. Oh, there we go. Yeah, clearly hygraphinous.
Do all
Does
foliotas
anybody
have
else?
rings, or some of them are exannular?
Some of them have no partial veil.
No.
Or perhaps maybe a partial veil that you hardly ever see.
Yeah, collapse is kind of like an indistinct ring zone or something. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of them have that. I know a lot of them have that. Like
I think we can
Foliota
see that.
lenta has that.
We can see that in one of these photos. I was going to mention that that it has that ring zone.
Yeah, it looks kind of funny in there.
Yeah, I didn't notice any clear suggestions of partial veils on these.
They're deeply buried.
You know what? There was a really tiny one that I should have taken a closer look at.
There's some perforaceousness in there, and I'm not sure if this is a remnant of a partial veil.
Well, if go to one of the first two photos, there's a small one that's opening up. I think you can see like a bit of a wispy veil. Maybe at the one at like here. The one
wispy way.
Yeah, directly to the left. I think you can make a little bit out of. Yeah, that it looks to be a little bit of a veil.
We should be able to blow this up.
It's blown up.
Well, you would have to go to show original image and.
Yeah, let me look at my actual photo of this. I have it right here.
I'm surprised to see these having deeply inserted stipes and some rhizomorphs in there. What looks like rhizomorphs, although it could be something else.
It could be roots from a plant. I'm not sure.
Yeah. But they're deeply inserted into the soil.
I just blew up my own photo on, and it looks like the mushroom that's on the left, that's not inverted, but neither is it inverted or expanded. It looks like it might have some partial veil clinging to the cap margin.
Now, I know nothing about the conicas. Do they often have partial veil?
I think they have fleeting partial veils.
Fleeting.
Let me see.
Okay.
Let me check.
Ephemeral. All right.
Ephemeral. Yeah. Let me check Microscopically and just.
Yeah, like similar to some psilocybes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, let's see here, like Coprinellus. I mean, that's
While
actually.
While you're doing that, Sue, in the bottom left,
yes,
there's a thing that says "Show Original Image."
Well, I don't have that on my. I see. Okay.
But it might show up as a separate window, and then you won't see it unless you're sharing your entire screen.
I am sharing the entire screen.
Right.
You're
so
sharing.
now you should be able to zoom.
That's it. That's about the same, huh?
Okay, pinching works. Right.
Yeah, there's the second fruiting body. You can see some stuff going on the cap, something that's appendiculate almost, right?
Yeah.
Very cortina-like veil.
Yeah, which I mean, I don't know if the many Foliota have that. I think Daconica also have that, right?
Yep.
I'm looking at Daconica on Microscopically, and some of them have fleeting partial veil.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I cannot think of, I don't know either genus at all. I mean, maybe a little bit, I know a little bit more about Foliota than Daconica, but I cannot think of any Foliotas having hygraphenous caps.
Okay, it's 9:00. Does anybody else have anything they don't want to wait until next week to show?
Wow.
Okay, then I guess we'll call it a night. Thank you everybody for sharing. Have fun looking for fungi after the rain for this week.
Thanks, Sue. Thanks, everyone. Good night.